All right. Welcome everybody to the 1025 BoD and CoC meeting. We're calling the BoD meeting to order at 8:08 p.m. Let me just pull up some documents here for that meeting. We only have one item tonight, and that's to add the PMs to their bank accounts, the new PMs. Corin, did you get wording for that?
Yes, that should be updated on the BoD meeting agenda items document.
Okay, I'm going to go pull that up right now. Let's do our quick attendance to make sure we are meeting quorum. We're going to go, as usual, Astra Wins.
Here.
Ravenstone.
Here.
Lupin Moon.
Here.
Frozen Coast.
Here.
Northreach 1 is here. Northreach 2.
Here.
All right, that is everybody in attendance. Awesome. Frozen Coast, I apologize. I did not, or not Frozen Coast, Icefire Bay, I did not call you because this is the BoD.
Right, I'm just here because, never know when it's going to get over and the CoC will start.
Yep, this will be really fast. Just didn't want any confusion there. BoD. I'm going to link the BoD wording over into the spectators chat if you'd like to take a look at it, but I'll give it a read too. All right. So first on the agenda is acceptance of previous minutes from August 9, 2019. Does everybody have a chance to look at the meeting minutes?
Yeah, I looked them over.
Just a quick vote on that. Or does anybody still need time to look over those meeting minutes?
I already I looked over them.
Okay. Astra Wins?
Yay.
Ravenstone?
Yes.
Lupin Moon?
Yes.
Frozen Coast?
Aye.
Northreach 2?
Yes.
And Northreach 1 is yes. Yay! All right. We have 3 items to vote on. Vote number 1 is vote to add Darcy McFall to the Frozen Coast Denali Federal Credit Union account. Corin, is there any reason why we couldn't do all 3 of these at the same time?
Nope.
Or do we need to do them individually?
Should be fine. I mean, the only reason to do them separately would be if somebody was going to vote not to do one of them. But
are there any objections to doing all of these at the same time?
No.
None.
Hearing no objections, the vote is as follows. Add Darcy McFall to Frozen Coast Denali Federal Credit Union account. Add Christopher Horton to Ravenstone Denali Federal Credit Union account. Third is add Christopher Stark to Lupin Moon Denali Federal Union account. Astra Wins?
Yay.
Ravenstone?
Yes.
Lupin Moon?
Yes.
Frozen Coast?
Yes.
Northreach 2?
yes.
Northreach 1 is yes. All in favor, no opposed. Did anybody have anything they'd like to add to this meeting before we dismiss? Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I motion to adjourn.
Second.
I second. Are there any objections? Okay, all in favor and none opposed. Yay! That was our BoD meeting, adjourning at 8:12 p.m. If only every meeting were that quick and easy. Moving into the Council of Crowns at 8:13. Oh. Yeah, 8:13. I can't type. I will link the agenda for everybody. All right, just a couple more links to pop up here so everybody can follow along. We are going to be we're going to be reviewing a few things tonight, so you'll have to, there'll be a couple pauses while I link these for everybody. Let's see, I'm going to mark down the attendance. All right, so a couple of quick announcements to start tonight. Just as a reminder, make sure to spread the word. Kingdom Day is on November the 16th. We're meeting at the Dome in Anchorage at noon. It's added to the calendar with the address. There's an event page. Make sure to spread that around. It's noon to 3. And then there's an event out in Palmer the same night, Haven Glow, that a bunch of us are going to kind of commute over to in lieu of Afgard. Make sure to spread the word, tell your friends, tell your family. It'll be nice to have a good turnout and get everybody together, kind of get everybody in the mood for the winter season.
Mm-hmm.
Online access, we had some folks that were looking to actually, catch up on everything. So we've made sure that online access to public documents is easy to find. You can find that at akampedguard.com under public files. On there, you'll find all of our PM reports, the recordings for these meetings that Cody is recording and Nalarian is uploading to our website. Pop a link over into our chat. I'm going to make sure to put that on our page, our Northreach Facebook page as well, so people know that they can find this documentation. PM elections. Corin, can you tell us who our new PMs are?
So in Astral Winds, Zerial continues as Prime Minister. In Ravenstone, Mordred is the new Prime Minister. In Lupine Moon, Nalarian is the new Prime Minister. In Frozen Coast, Darcy, I'm sorry, I don't remember her persona name yet, is the new Prime Minister. And in Icefire Bay, Hazel remains the Prime Minister.
Awesome, that sounds like a really solid lineup. Next item, we are adding a couple of CoC procedures. We'll see how those go. Mostly so it gives us a chance to review things as a group, talk about it with the public so they can be more informed. And so it's always on our mind as well. The first one is monthly calendar review. First meeting of every month. So that's the one on the first Friday. And we're just going to go over the calendar, make sure everything's up to date for that month, and see if we need to add anything or ask our regents to make some adjustments. Second bit is we're going to review the monthly PM reports on the second meeting of every month. For those that have not actually read the monthly PM reports, they're awesome. They have whose dues paid, how our offices or parks are doing for their attendance, any votes that have been happening with all things. This is going to let us stay really informed. It's going to put it in front of the populace to look at these reports. And we should be looking over that information anyways, where PMs and monarchs need to work nice and close together. Also, at that second meeting of each month, we're going to be reviewing officers' attendance. Corin is really great about updating that on a regular basis so we can look and make sure all of our officers are meeting their attendance requirements. For those that don't know, officers can't miss. If you miss 6 days, you can no longer serve in office unless they have been excused, or 4 consecutive days. This is just to make sure your officers are there, they're present, and they're doing what needs to be done. Another shout out, the marketing manager is still taking applications. I haven't heard it from anybody yet, so if it's something that you're interested in, if you know somebody that might be interested in it, so I think it's a really good position. I'd love to see somebody actually take it up. Last announcement before we get into the meat of our meeting. Sir Gorin is no longer our ambassador, as he has stepped up as the executive chair for AmpGuard International. I've taken over that position, as it's something that would be the Northreach Monarchs' responsibility had we not split it out anywho. So I will be trying to keep everybody up to date on the going on of the National AmpGuard stage. Does anybody have questions on the announcements before we move into the meat of the meeting? I'm hearing none.
Yeah,
All right.
no question.
Let's pop in here. So attendance averages. Let's take a look at the PM report for August and September. If everybody goes to that link of the public records that I gave you, you can actually pull up the PM reports. I'm going to start with Astral Winds.
Am I supposed to say something?
Oh, no, I'm just pulling it up. Don't mind these awkward silences.
Oh,
Did you want to review your PM report? I like you reviewing it. Yeah. Great. August and September, please. I went attendance averages. Your park is a barony, which requires an average attendance of 15.
Cool. 1 second. I'm just going to pull this up really quick. Council of Regents. Nope, sorry. Council of Chancellors. Record keeping. PM reports. Astral Winds. Okay, so which months?
August and September is what we're looking at.
Okay. It looks like we had perfect attendance by the officers. We had 5 weeks that month of August. 13, 18, 26, 30, and 31. Those were all 5 weeks of attendance. And in September, we had...
So it's an average of 23.6.
Oh, that's cool. We only had one person miss today, and that was... well, I won't mention names. It seems kind of mean. But our attendance was 26, 26, 29, and 28. That's
actually pretty exceptional, guys. That's 27.25. Well over what you're required to be for a barony. You guys have made a really, really solid turnaround. It's pretty awesome. See, was there anything else on here? It would be worth noting, it'll be great if we start putting the dues paid lists on here. You can just copy and paste it over each month. I can show Zero stepping up, so
we're still learning this job.
Hey, no, I'm super excited about this. This is great. Thank you, Puppet.
Me and him have been tackling this PM job and sort of like ironing out
I know you guys have. You guys have been working really hard at it, though.
I didn't even know we had a PM report like 2 months ago.
Well, you took it and ran with it, and that's great.
So.
Ravenstone, you want to pop up yours?
Hold on just a minute. I'm on a phone, so I'm having a little difficulty here.
Okay.
Okay, I'm looking at the August one now. So from the for August, are you still able to hear me?
Yep, we can hear you just fine.
So for August, we had looks like it was from 8/4 to 8/25. We had 23, 19, 23, and 14. September is incomplete at the moment. I did talk to Malik, and he's going to get them updated before Mordred takes over. But for 9/1, we had 15, and for 9/8, we had 17.
Alrighty. So that's an average on the previous month of 19. We're not quite sure on September. It looks like the dues paid status is updated down there. Make sure folks are looking over this dues paid status. That's a little bit scrolling down. That way, when voting comes along, you're not too shocked if you are or aren't dues paid. This is a really nice example of it. He marks everything down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 dues paid members for Ravenstone marked here. So, yay, your numbers are still well within barony standards. Awesome. All right. And we're down to Loop and Moon.
All right, I've already got it pulled up here. So, looks like for the August 1st, right? Or am I crazy?
Honestly, you don't have to name off each week. You can just give us your averages.
Well, for this one, we did really good at the beginning with 37, 30, 28, but then we had 18, 19, so we ended up with a 26.4, but all of our officers had perfect attendance that month. And our dues paid are not on that. And then for September, the average isn't written down. I will get with Karina on that. We did have 2 weeks that month that we did have to cancel due to weather. But 9/14 and 9/28, we had 29 and then 25.
Did we only play twice in September?
Yeah, we had the one day that was because of all the smoke. The air quality was really bad. And then
one of those was
pouring rain.
So I thought one of those was actually in August.
I don't think so. Maybe it was.
You'll want to get either Karina or Marion
and see if there's maybe a mistake in there.
She'll want to look at the attendance portion here too under your officers because it's saying 4 of 4. If you only played twice, then it would have been 2 of 2.
Yeah. In September, actually the 29 entered on the. I'm just going to go ahead and change that right now because I can. That was actually for the 21st, and the 14th was 16. Karina had gotten mixed up on that one with respect to which weekend she had gone down to Frozen Coast.
Alrighty. Thank you, Corin. Great to have the KPM here. So attendance averages here, where you need to have 30 for a duchy. Attendance is obviously not meeting that on these 2 months. That being said, going to have to look at what kind of recruitment we can do to kind of get your numbers back up to where you need to be. So these are really good. This is a really good example of why we want to look at these. We can see that we're running behind, so we want to figure out what we need to do to get those numbers back up. Nice kind of lookout. But we will go over all of that in a bit. Down to Frozen Coast.
So we had a really big kickoff to the rain with an average attendance of 32 and a half. Big for us anyway.
That's good.
And then
numbers.
Yep. And then in September, our average attendance was 22 and a quarter. So took a steep dive after that.
That's a really strong. That's really a strong barony.
Yep. And it seems our numbers are penduluming really hard. Like we'll be high 20s, low 30s one week, and then 19 another. So it's causing a pretty significant swing.
Transition when we first move in during the winter can be like that. I find some of the major things is really communicating when, where, and how long you're going to be. Really motivating people because it's winter. We start getting into that I don't want to leave the house mode. So you have to really stay on top of that. But altogether, still pretty good.
Yep. Definitely steady progress.
Getting going. All right, so let's look down at Icefire Bay. You are a shire, which requires an average attendance of 5.
Right, and I'm not able to pull up the PM reports, it looks like, on my phone.
Hey, I got it up here. I'll review them since you can't.
Thank you.
Right. So it looks like you guys met 3 times. 16, 15, 15. So you're going to have an average of 15.25. That's barony right there. And it doesn't look like your September one's filled out. So just kind of nudge your PM, ask her to fill it out. That way we can take a look at it next time.
Oh, for sure. She actually got injured on the last battle game, so she's been kind of laid up. And before that, she's been literally battling fire. So
that is, I think we'll give her a pass on that one.
Yeah, we will get it going here soon. We've had pretty good numbers this last month. It's been up in the 20s.
Nice. That's actually pretty great.
Yeah, but you see, we've never had a top 5. I wonder sometimes what it's like to have like an actual top 5, but we've had top 3, sometimes top 4. So that's why we're still a wee little shire.
You just got to get a few more of your people over the age of 18.
Yeah, they keep turning 18 and then moving out of state. So,
oh no.
On it though, I've been talking and networking with people, and I think that with this will hopefully be changing soon.
That's great. Yeah, your numbers have been slowly ticking up. All you really have to do is fill out those officer spots, and you'll be a barony. You can get it.
Most of the adults that I talk to down here that would be interested in playing are under the impression that it might be an organization that's meant for kids, since our shire started so young. And I really try to tell them, like, no, really, like, this is a worldwide event. This is a major nationwide thing. And anyway, I don't know whether they're just worried about getting their ass kicked by some kids or afraid of beating up some kids. But, we're working on it. It'll bloom.
Just slowly get 1 or 2 in, and they'll draw the other ones in. Adults drag in other adults.
Oh, for sure. And you just get one of those swords in somebody's hand. They're like, I don't know. Oh, wait.
Got to get Frozen Coast to go down there a little bit more often and like show them that there's more adults playing.
Right. We have had a couple of consistent members come and join us down here recently, and it's been...
That's awesome. All right. Moving over to... That is...
Also, Mara, if you're interested, I just dropped in the attendance numbers for Icefire Bay for September.
Oh, awesome. What are we looking at?
12, 25, 25, and 20. I haven't done done the average yet.
Go Ice Fire Bay. Wow. That's some awesome attendance. So let's see. I think the winner for this meeting is... I'm going to give a solid second place to Icefire Bay for how much more than they need. How high are their averages than what they need? They're barely numbers despite the fact they're a shire. And Astral Winds has the highest attendance. That's pretty awesome.
Did someone say my name?
I was just saying that you have the highest, your park has the highest attendance averages.
Cool.
Pretty awesome. All right, so back over to my agenda. Calendar review. Has everybody had a chance to look at October and November on the calendar? Anything that needs to be added, changed, removed? That way we can pester our regions here and make sure it's corrected.
I looked over Frozen Coast. The only hiccup I saw, I had Harsh correct for me at the start of the meeting.
Especially if your sites are moving, make sure you're reviewing and making sure that the address you're going to be at is on the calendar. I know our region, we move around a lot at the start of the season just because of scheduling conflicts. But it looks like that looks pretty good here. There's major events are up to date in there as well. Did anybody have concerns?
If I can just add what we went over really quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I was told that we had to make everything up to date for the indoor location because I guess we didn't get a chance to do that yet. And I was under the impression that Nalarian was going to pass on the access to the Google Calendar to the council, but guess there was some sort of miscommunication there. Like either he forgot or I didn't ask him or something like that. But I got them access to the calendar, and it looks like everybody got their place up to date. Oh, wait a minute. Icefire Bay, I think you guys disappeared from here.
Oh, well, I just updated it earlier tonight. I put in the mid-range and then updated the weekly Saturday meeting spot. Are you not?
Yeah, I'm not seeing you guys pop up on the calendar here.
Are you looking at your calendar, not the one on site? Because when I looked on the site earlier to review my own, I saw her. I saw Icefire Bay's stuff posted.
I see the mid-range, but that's it.
I see the mid-range and I see the ANS one you guys have next week, but I'm not seeing the...
All right, I'll be sure to revisit the calendar and make sure that it's working.
Awesome.
All right, if you want, I could just do it here really quick. If you just want to give me like a rough time window and location.
Well, Saturdays at the Christian Community Church, which is, I think, 8383 Bartlett. We meet from 4 to 7 p.m.
4 to 7 p.m., Bartlett. And do you have like a rough window of time as to how long you guys will be there? Like from when to...
Yeah, from 4 o'clock to 7 o'clock.
No, I meant like date. Like, do you think you'll be back out in like, I don't know, April or May or something?
Yeah, probably May.
Okay, cool. I'll get all that information in the calendar pretty much as soon as I'm done.
Thank you so much, Harz. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Okay. If there's no concerns other than what you've just corrected, which is awesome, let's move on to the next, which is the officer attendance audit. Corin, did you have that updated?
Oh, sorry, one more thing. Icefire Bay, do you have a preference in color? Because I see you guys have light blue, and for your mid-range, I used orange. Do you have like a preference?
Oh, anything fiery would be great.
All right, gotcha.
Okay, I'm not sure. I haven't checked the org this week yet, so I'm up to date relative to what was on the org as of, I think, last Friday.
All right. Do you have a link for that?
1 moment. Let's turn on sharing for this one. These are actually my own notes that I've been keeping just because it's easier for me to look at the org every couple of weeks and
Okay, if you don't
write
know,
down numbers versus, let's see.
you don't have to share the link if it's not something that you've like prepared for public consumption. You can just go through and see if there's anybody that is like over 3 attendance that we should be seeing if there's any concerns.
Okay, then in that case, I'll double check a couple things based on the review of the PM reports. I have 3 absences for Thor up in Astral Winds, but the August 31st absence does not match the PM report, so I will double check that. It might have just been a mismatch in data entry on the org versus when I checked it. Then for Trippy and Frozen Coast, we are at 4 absences. And aside from Shires, which do not have the attendance requirements, that's it.
Oh, was I not over 3? I thought
I need to review that based on the August numbers and which day we were out in August.
okay, cool.
One of your days that you weren't here might have actually ended up being the day that it was canceled for the weather conditions.
Oh yeah, it was. It was. I remember that. Woo! Saved by the fire. Oh. All right.
I'm curious, does that also include if they were out for, or if they missed a council event as well, like one of their council meetings?
To the degree to which I have council meeting information, yes, but my information on council meetings is rather spotty. I have the Council of Crowns meetings, obviously, because I'm at those, and the PM meetings because I run those. I don't generally have information on regents, GMRs, and champions.
I'll put a note to get with my top 5 and ask them to give you reports on those. That way we're staying up to date.
Okay, I have August reports for champions and GMRs, but I've not gotten September yet.
Awesome.
So, visiting on Trippy's attendance for a little bit, he will be stepping down as Frozen Coast champion due to some personal concerns. He just hasn't made that announcement yet. And that was part of what we needed to discuss in closed session tonight.
All right, yeah, we'll chat about that, and I hope everything's okay for him. Were there any questions on the officer's attendance audit before we move on to mid-range? All right. Make sure everybody's making announcements about their mid-range. Get those addresses out there. Make sure everybody knows so they can travel if they want to. I know these are starting next week. So really, really, really advertise those. Put the information out there for everybody.
Actually, they're starting tomorrow.
Oh, Ice Fire Base tomorrow?
That is correct.
That is why some of our people in Anchorage are leaving this weekend. And a lot of
Yep.
people are like, "Oh, I'm not coming. I'm out." Stealing all the people I'm going to fight with tomorrow.
Well,
If I
you
can
could,
add one thing here.
The solution is come with them.
That is a pretty solid solution.
Also, to any of the monarchs that happen to get visitors from out of their normal park time for their mid reigns, give me a message and let me know about any names. I'm just gonna be keeping track of that for reasons.
All right. Did anybody have any mid-reign announcements before we let Corin update us on all things PMing?
well, I just hope everybody is aware that we do have our mid range tomorrow. It'll start at 6:00, and we do primarily it's a masquerade ball with potluck. Last year we had quite the spread. It is in a very warm location now. In case people have come years previous, we had a colder location. This is very well heated, and we'll have a good dance mix. We'll be handing out awards. There'll be lots of good food, and highly recommend people to come down and have some fun.
That sounds pretty awesome. I saw your pictures from previous ones. I'm kind of jealous.
Well, there's a good way to fix that.
There is a good way to fix that. Cameron, you want to update us on all things PMing?
Okay, so the Chancellor's Council this reign has been focused on, and aside from just like all of the day-to-day keep the park running stuff that we deal with, we've been focused on creating a Prime Minister operations manual, so that as new Prime Ministers come into their offices, they'll actually have some idea of what's going on and what they're supposed to do and when they're supposed to do it. So we've made some pretty good progress on that, and with 3 new prime ministers coming into office, one of them starting this weekend, and I think the other 2 the weekend following. I'll be throwing them at the PM operations manual and seeing if it keeps them from having too many questions that they wouldn't otherwise, or that they would otherwise have had. So if it's decent for telling them what they need to know. So any other questions on PM stuff? Sorry, you broke up on that one.
How is the manual progressing? You said you were working on it. Have you gotten it finished? Do you need more? Is there anything we can do to help you?
It is progressing well. I'm adding to it as things come up, as things are identified that aren't known and should be in there. So, for example, I'll be adding a bit about putting a dues paid list of people in the monthly PM report, because that's apparently some people have known to do it or thought to do it, but it hasn't been a clear thing that was there. It might have actually just been in the, well, no, Ravenstone didn't have an election, so I'll be updating the operations manual to include that. So just as things come up that we say, oh yeah, well, that's a nice thing to know, I'm putting them in. So it's progressing well. I suppose if anybody else wanted to look at it and see if there were questions that they thought would be useful if it answered, it wouldn't hurt anything.
Okay. Sounds good. If we wanted to look at that and offer insight, how would we go about getting a hold of it?
Right now, that is stored in the Chancellor's Council informational folder.
Okay.
I think. Nope, not there. Prime Minister documents.
Sorry, did I miss anything?
Where do you live? Okay, now I'm not seeing it in Google Drive, so this is slightly strange. Okay, I will find it and I will put it in the Chancellor's Council folder.
Okay. Sounds good enough to me.
Mara, you still there?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. I talked on and on and on for a little bit there, assuming people could hear me. That's great. So hearing no objections, we're going to close this for tonight and head down to the closed session. If anybody would like to view this, it should be up on our website shortly. Thank you all for joining us tonight.